Y'all have already seen him before. My big question, since there's so many toss-ups around the state, Caesar, you're running for Senate too.
Shall I bring him on?
Yeah, bring Caesar on. Hey, Caesar.
How you doing?
Stress, but you know what? We can handle this mess. We just need blessings and melodies, and just we need donations. But back to you. You running for senator too?
Well, it depends on the resources available. So far, nobody has come to me and said, we're going to back you with resources. It's time for you to represent the state.
Well, there's so many people giving up they cushy seats, leaving it out there for grab. Please tell me you're gonna snatch one and run for it.
Well, again, that's depends upon available resources and donors and support from the party. And I say support from the party very loosely, but
I don't want to laugh, Caesar, but I'm seeing grenades thrown all over Facebook, all over Twitter. You got the elite group against the grassroots, and I'm in the middle, and I'm sitting here like, can you stop doing that? Can y'all stop arguing? What are you fighting for? We all got to go to the convention in Dalton on the 5th and the 6th. It's like, calm down, everybody. Calm down. I don't like you, but y'all used to be friends. Well, you suck. I'm like, oh, y'all know we read this online, right? And they don't care. It's like so much squabbling right now on the inside of the Republican Party. I'm going to bring me a bag of popcorn. I got to see this.
yeah, what they're squabbling about is for the crumbs, minutia. What they should be addressing are the issues concerning the state, things that need to be addressed. I'm still concerned about our election integrity. We're still using Dominion machines. We've still got the same players in the background running our elections processes, and nothing has been done.
They was told not to say anything about it. We got election integrity. Don't say anything else about Dominion vote machine. You remember that, what the heck is his name? Rathensberger. Now, I don't like him, so I'm just letting you know that now. When he came out and said, hey, we need $50-something million for upkeep of the Dominion voting machine. And I'm sitting here like, but isn't it going, the system Smartmatics in there, it's going to be outdated next year. Why would in the world would you use $50-some-odd million of our taxpayers' money when majority of the people don't even want to vote on the Dominion vote machine? At this point, I'll take Diebold back.
Well, wouldn't if you're using the Dominion voting machines, wouldn't the vendor be responsible for the maintenance and upkeep? Isn't that a part of the contract?
No.
Or am I missing something?
No. Each county is they are commanded or demanded for the upkeep. We talk about the counties under 80,000. That was one of the biggest kickers out there, and one of the biggest arguments about the Dominion vote machines, because it's not the Secretary of State and Gabriel Sterling, Brad Rathensberger that's supposed to keep the maintenance of these Dominion vote machines. It's every single 159 counties, even the small broke ones too.
Amazing.
With no help from the state.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And I'm sitting here and I'm marveling because I was a ballot reviewer and observer in the 2020 election. And I wrote a full report, including pictures, about very, very questionable practices. The only response I got was that I was some sort of liar.
No, they was told. You remember during the scamdemic, here's something you might not know. There was a very hush-hush meeting in Athens at a hotel that was closed down with Ralston and the actual elected officials inside of the state of Georgia. They was told and demanded by Ralston to shut up about the 2020 election. Do not bring it back up. And if you do, you get nowhere, and you will be the chairman of the House. What is that? House Cleaning Division Committee. I'm dead serious. And this is well known. And then once they did that during the scamdemic, there was a lot of hush hush meetings on the on the outer coastal waters of Tybee Island, where a whole bunch of sitting Georgia representatives, Republicans, had private meetings during the whole shutdown. And that is one of the reasons how we got that $1 billion from China that Brian Kemp took. All of this is, it's out there now. It's hindsight is 2020. Even Garland Favorino, he was pissed when all that happened.
Yeah, I've had quite a bit of contact with Garland. As a matter of fact, I sent him the pictures I had and the full report and everything. He was quite surprised.
You saw what they did to Colton. You saw what, and Colton was one of the big charges of the election integrity, because him being who he is, he wanted answers and he would not back down. But if you go back and look at the Amica briefs right after the 2020 election with Senator Legan, and all of them, they were shutting that down too. And I just don't understand why. If we're supposed to have an up and up, honest election, then get rid of the main thing that has people questioning the election to begin with. And that's Dominion vote machine. We didn't ask for it. No one asked for it. And if you see how Dominion vote machine actually became a part of our state, look no further than his chief of staff.
Yeah, at this point, I'm taking a position that if I was to run and I was to win a seat, whether it be in the state or in U.S. Congress, I would be certainly taking a position there. One of the things that Trump ran on, of course, was transparent to bring all this information, all this background noise out into the open, into the light, so the people could see it. Transparency is how government should be. The elimination of transparency is when democracy dies. And if the people are willing to accept the status quo, the so-called rhinos, or the play-alongs to get-alongs, as I call them, well, then we're going to have a continuation of the same thing over and over again. In the county that I live in, where I ran for commission chairman, there's this outcry about what's happening now after the election, and I give them the Cuban salute. I'm like, what do what do you want me to do now?
They
You
want you
know,
to sit down,
we
hush,
had,
and be a good little Republican. That is what they want you to do. You have ran so much to be a part of this system, to make these decisions, because you're a good person. But we know, Caesar, there's a whole bunch of people that are elected officials that would sell us to the highest bidder and don't care neither about our platform or our morals or our integrity or our values as being Republicans. But we can see that since 2020.
which begs the question, what's behind it? There's no fiscal accountability or oversight of anything in both in the state and nationwide. We've got Doge finally in place, who's finding all of this, all these questionable expenditures, and you've got this group that's actually as challenging Doge and threatening them, and judges that are stepping in place, stonewalling the process. And then you look at what's happening at a state level or at a local level. And I can't speak for everybody else, but my God, is this all tied in?
Yes. I mean, I didn't mean to yell at you. I just,
No,
yeah.
no, by all means. I mean, is this
Yes. Think about
is
it.
this for want of a better description, is this some sort of scam
Yes. Think
that's
about
being
it.
run on the American people? There's no accountability. We've
None.
got things.
It is
We've got
accountability. There
money
is.
from USAID
There
going
you
to
go.
NGOs who are in turn subsidizing or
Yes.
paying for um, Democrat Democrat candidates at a local level. Is this why I was running with $16,000 for U.S. Congress against my Democrat opponent who was running with $1.9 million
Yes,
dollars?
yes, but you saying USAID. During when you ran, this is what I found out, and you're not gonna like this, Caesar. It wasn't USAID that was taking you down. It was Act Blue. Act Blue was the Democratic campaign donation, the scamming, kickback, all that. That's why. That's why. And then when you're saying that, you got to think about the DAs. You got to think about the judges. All of it is all connected in some way, shape, or form. I don't know if it's giving away our sovereignty. Just like if you remember at the primary, question 8 on the Republican ticket, giving unelected bureaucrats permission to make medical decisions over our health. That was over there at the World Health Organization and also the World Economic Forum. We know for a fact our governor loved Davos. Our governor visited Davos. Our governor visited the World Economic Forum. Our governor listened to the WHO. So we got to look at the head in Georgia. But we got to remember, he's not running again. But we still going to still have the same problems.
Yeah, if we continue to support and elect a status quo,
Yes.
do we want to elect people who were a part of the cabinet in place,
No.
a part of the state house in place, or do we want to elect people bring new ideas, people who can institute new oversight into what happened, what's going on, and institute remedies to correct these issues. I'm sorry, if you're okay with the status quo, you're not okay with progress in the state.
Right.
You're not okay with cleaning things up. You're okay with the graft and malfeasance here in Fulton County.
Did you hear they did not elect any Republicans on the election board inside of Fulton County again this year? Again. So how in the
And
world?
the people are okay with it.
No, they're
The
not.
voters, the
They're
constituents
not.
are okay with it.
They're not. If they
Okay,
was okay with
then
it,
why don't they rise up?
well, you got to look at the last election. They overwhelmingly voted for Donald J. Trump, or they didn't vote at all. If you look at the
Mhm.
DeKalb County last election, overwhelmingly it went to President Donald Trump. It went to. If I looked at the numbers, I was shocked. But it's like this, Caesar. It's just like with you and your culture, Dave and his culture, my culture. We don't want to be broke nor broke in. But when we know they have scallywags, they have cheaters, they have manipulators in Fulton County, and we know we got some some slimy people in the Republican Party that has compromised our morals and values. We know for a fact, Caesar, run in DeKalb County or Fulton County, you ain't gonna get no help. Run in Newton County, you ain't gonna get no help. Barely get help in Gwinnett County because of the Unite Party has pushed all the Republicans out of Gwinnett County, and the Republicans no longer want to fight for Gwinnett County. So when you have in leadership in high places telling the people to sit down, even though you know you could win, you ain't gonna get no help from the party.
Absolutely not. Again, my congressional campaign was exactly that. I'm being told by higher ups within my own party that, basically, good luck. We have to support your opponent. And this is my own party telling me we have to support your opponent for what he brings to the state.
What? Wait, whoa. Really? They had the audacity and the cojones to tell you this to your face?
Oh, yeah.
I believe you. I truly believe you, because they kind of said that to me. But that's after they tossed me to the side. Why? If they saying they want new voices, they want new ideas, new everything. then they kick you to the curb if you're a threat. How are we threats? How are you, Caesar, a threat? You are a voice of millions of people inside of the state of Georgia that's not being represented. You being a voice for men out there where you at and what you want to see for the next generation and to bring it back to God, family, country. I don't understand. So if we're supposed to be the party of less taxes, less government, and more self-responsibility, to get a responsible man to run for that seat. I don't get it.
Well, obviously, there's more to it than that. There is supporting the status quo. There is the good old boy network. There is the issue of resources coming into the state and how they're allocated and whose palms are being greased. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, if what I'm saying is false, please somebody come and talk to me about it. Show me the numbers. I'm
It,
an engineer. I'm all about numbers. Show me the numbers. Show me where these federal resources and state resources are going, and show me that they're not going to grease somebody's palm, somebody in power, somebody in office.
mm-hmm.
Show me. I've got a huge Job Corps facility in South Fulton. Millions of dollars going to build this facility and engage this facility so we can train our young people who are coming up and displaced workers, give them marketable job
Right.
skills so they can get in the job market. All that's sitting there is a foundation.
Go tap into what President Trump just said. President Trump 2 days ago saying he's going to take that $3 billion from Harvard University and start sending it to these type of schools that you're doing. Go get your grant. You go get that grant because I would rather for somebody go to Job Corps than Harvard University. I would rather for at risk youth to be under the tutelage of you so you can help mold their future. Go get that money. Go try to get that grant, try to get that loan, and make these people in these inner cities, these boys and girls that has no other option but to join under the tutelage of you at this Job Corps. Please do that because I know what Job Corps is. I would rather them to stay here around us than sending them to South Georgia, sending them to Alabama, Tennessee. Well, we know they ain't got it's going to be hard for them to make it. But Caesar, under your tutelage, you can help mold lives. So there's got to be a way that you can fill out for these grants that are floating out there right now because they just opened up the grant services again. You have the expertise, you have the specialism, and you have the heart to make sure that the next generation have a hand up, and that's what you're trying to do. And with Job Corps, I would rather see these young folks being in Job Corps than on the street. I would rather see them have a career in the future than try to sling drugs because nobody else want to deal with them. I would rather them have a GED, working on a tech degree if necessary, while getting hands-on training because you're about to give them that. There ain't no dang on way you finna sit here and tell me no one in the state of Georgia, Republican Party, won't jump on board with what you're doing so we could go ahead and start building the next generation of Republicans. Oh my God. Who the hell we need to talk to? I humble myself.
Ask me how I know that what you described actually works.
Because it helped some woman like me. I didn't go to Job Corps. I had a choice to go to Job Corps. A couple of my family members went to Job Corps, and they came out to be productive citizens when someone else said they will never mount to anything. So for the people out there that think Job Corps is wrong, it's in the heart of the kids. And as long as they know they got good tutelage and good mentors under them, they are more likely to be productive citizens if they have a choice. So I know what Job Corps is. Sometimes that's the only way out for the people that's in the hood.
I was one of those kids. In New York, where I grew up, we had a program called BOCES. BOCES is an acronym for Board of Cooperative Educational Services. Basically, it started as a vocational training facility for at-risk youth. like myself. It was expanded to be more inclusive because it was so popular. So I went from running the streets to getting a marketable skill to here I am, an engineer working in aerospace.
You're a walking
That
testimony.
wasn't a mistake.
No, God turned your whole mess into a whole message for millions of kids. But if we stay in the state of Georgia, I don't care if you touch thousands. Because when I was pregnant with my fourth child and I was a senior in high school, they looked at me. They said, you have two choices, night school or Job Corps. I said, I'm going to stay in school and I'm going to walk that stage. And I don't care if I'm the only pregnant person there. I'm not getting a GED. I'm getting my high school diploma. And I toughened it out with having four kids, at three kids, still studying to graduate school because they looked at people like us, Caesar, and said, yeah, y'all ain't going nowhere in life. You're going to always be a problem. But it takes the heart of that person to get out that situation and listen to those mentors like you to help us change our lives around. So whatever you need, I'm willing to talk. I'm willing to help. I don't even know what to help, what kind of help you need. But no one is unsavable. And if they are young and impressionable, teenagers and young adults, those are the times we need to snatch them off that street and turn their lives around.
Absolutely. That's why it was number one on my platform every time I ran for office. That was number one. Because I want you to look at something. You have President Trump with these tariffs, imposing these tariffs to give more a level playing field in terms of international trade. And you had the other side saying, well, we can't get back to producing these products because we don't have the infrastructure and we don't have the workforce. Why don't we have the
We do
workforce?
have the workforce. Majority of them they was paying to stay home. And now that you got RFK coming out here, yo, hey, because they did it in the 90s. I used to be on food stamps. They's like, hey, you got to work if you want to eat. If you want to be on food stamps, you an able-bodied woman. We don't care how many kids you got. You better get out there and work for a living. So all these people that has been used since the scamdemic, making thousands of dollars, government paying for everything. Now they got to get back to work, or if not, their benefits cut off. So they either gonna have to prove what they have, or they're gonna have to shut the hell up.
Look at it from the other direction. Dependency is power.
Ooh.
Dependency gives the political structure power. As long as I am paying you to sit down and be non-productive, you are dependent on me. And I know that every time I run for office, I will have your support as long as I'm giving you the crumbs off my table.
John Podesta, the WikiLeaks. What he say for the black people? Don't worry about them. We'll put $20 more in a welfare check. It's time to have a taco bowl. What did they actually say? Even LBJ, we're gonna have them niggers voting Democrats for the rest of their life. Take the fathers out their home. Take the fathers out their home. Take God out of their home. Everything that you just said, I don't consider it as being dependent. I call it a curse. It's a generational curse because you can never get out of it if you get sucked into it. It's hard when you paying $20 for a light bill, $15 for rent, and you living in a home, getting your car and everything. So most of them don't want to work. And what you're seeing right now out there on the internet and on television, they're griping because they have to work again. Then go get a degree. Go learn the code like, Biden told us.
Learn a trade, become independent. That's why the left is so against vocational training because it renders people, particularly people in the urban community, it renders them independent. When I got my job skills, I learned a trade and I went out in the workforce. I was making much more than minimum wage. And it showed me that I could support myself. I wasn't dependent on a welfare check or an EBT card or food stamps or what have you. I could work by myself. I didn't have to I wasn't worried about when the social worker came to inspect my home
Right? You remember the
and
social
make
workers?
sure I was in compliance so I
Yes.
could get my WIC and my Section 8 and my EBT.
Been there, done
I
that.
call my own shots. Well, politicians, particularly Democrat politicians, are worried about that because their power base is the foundation of their power base is dependency. And as
It's
long as they keep
crippling.
those in the inner city in a state of squalor and dependent upon them, they will always maintain their power base. They will always stay in office. And it is up to the people, the constituents, to open their eyes, to remove themselves from this culture of dependency and take the power back.
And you got to think about it. Look at Athens Tech to be a person. Whoa, that's where you're gonna Job Corps. You doing that? Start getting with these tech colleges. See, John Deere. John Deere just said they was gonna give $20 million invested back in America for trade. Yes, I think there's some Georgia. What are some of the biggest manufacturers that you might can actually partner with this Job Corps situation? That is, as you're training these youth coming into your facility, they're guaranteed a job with these big companies, and you are making a deal with them because not only that, they're going to have that degree, they're going to be able to do a specialized job, and then they could go into these manufacturers and these companies and automatically get a job without any debt.
I'm gonna give you a real example of what's going on out here. I'm in aerospace. I work in aerospace. I work for SpaceX, Blue Origin. I work for a number of other companies. There is a shortage of skilled help. You don't have to go to college to be able to program for CNC, computer numerical controlled manufacturing. You don't need a college degree for that. All you need is training. And there is a shortage of CNC machinists, CNC programmers. That's just one example, though. There are so many other positions in manufacturing that the industries, the respective industries, are having a hard time finding help. Meanwhile, we've got these like this Job Corps facility in College Park that's just sitting there in a state spot. Tell me this: why do we need federal support to build that, even
You
though it
don't
was
need
initiated
to.
with federal funding? Why we can get donations from contributions from manufacturers all
Sure
around the
can.
country who
Kubota.
are going to take advantage of those workers, those able-bodied workers, once they're trained up.
And Miss Donna said once they
And why
have that,
wouldn't a John Deere
ooh, or Kubota,
contribute Kubota? Why wouldn't a Kubota contribute capital or contribute resources so we could train workers on Kubota to service Kubota equipment or uh, fabricate, gosh, SpaceX
you forgetting
components.
about Lockheed Martin and the rest of them. That's right over there in Marietta. They need the workers too. So when you got the degrees and everything, I would say, hey, here's my proposal. Can y'all help me? And these workers, whatever your particular qualifications is, we're gonna have these workers going straight to you, and that is how you're gonna benefit it. Now, here's something that Miss Donna said. As you are training these children, Miss Donna, they won't be on welfare. So the senior citizens will be able to get that money. But you got to remember, they want to kill the senior citizens. AOC wouldn't have said it. After after you're 72 years of age, you have outlived your youthfulness for the United States of America. So Number one, I want our elders to get it all. Caesar want our elders to be taken care of. He's a man. He knows what his godly ordained mission is supposed to be. But there's nothing we could do, Miss Donna, in order for us to stop having a welfare state. We got to build up the generation. We got to build up our children and grandchildren. If not, we be in our heads on a brick wall, and we're going to always have the generational curses in the white community, the black community, and the Hispanic community. It's across the board, ma'am. It's across the board. And it was set up this way. Me and Caesar just trying to figure out when two minds come together, we could figure it out with God's help.
Absolutely. If you have a nation of producers, the majority of the people are producers, you will have more resources on hand to take care of the sick, the elderly, the veterans that need help. You'll have more capital coming in. You'll have more resources coming in. We would be a better nation at taking care of those in need. The more people we have trained up, the more people we have in the workforce, the more equipment, material, product we are producing, we are a better nation.
Yes.
It'll make us a better nation. We have a greater revenue base to draw from to take care of those in need. I just don't understand why our politicians are okay with this dependency if they are not directly benefiting from it.
Man, you know, we all know they getting kickbacks in some shape, form, or fashion, or insider trading. They're not going to do anything if they're not benefiting from it. Okay, wait, Caesar. 80% is not going to do anything unless they're absolutely benefiting from it. Let's just take Donna, because she said that about the elderly. Okay, fine. We say, okay, all sitting representatives make $174,000 a year, right? That should be able. You can't work for a living. This is your job. You're up there. You're doing the best for the people. Tell me how in the world they are affording mansions. How in the world are they affording yachts and everything else? So if we can't explain that, that tells you where the problem lies. But if you can't get a, because even in the Gold Dome, they have lobbyists. In Washington, D.C., there's lobbyists. So if the politicians aren't listening to the constituents until it's, election time, because they spend a majority of their time fundraising. So if they're not working for America, then how you figured they was going to work for you? I'm just saying, no, they don't need to have 5 mansions and a yacht, Caesar. They don't need 5 mansions, a yacht, and 3 jets.
You don't have somebody like an AOC who comes into Congress after being elected owing money, and in 8 years' time she's worth $27 million.
Something
And
sound
nobody
fishy.
questions
Was she
it.
a drug dealer? I mean, because I was raised in the hood. I know about flipping a brick. Okay, flip that brick. Go ahead and re-up and flip that brick again. What bricks are she flipping up there besides ours?
Well, as long as she and others like her are not held accountable, the graft will continue,
Ugh.
sadly.
Then what is gonna happen to our parents? Because Caesar, we almost our parents. I mean, I'm considering myself even a young 50. Okay, I'm a young 50. I'm a young grandma. But what the heck gonna happen when we get that age? If we make it to that far?
I'm looking at 62 myself. I'm thinking, how long am I going to be able to keep my nose to the grindstone before I have to back it down and pass the baton? And how am I going to be able to support myself after that?
Because you can't depend on Social Security. You can't depend on Social Security. And if you make too much money, if you got too much in your stock options or 401k, they take away from your Social Security. You work for that, Caesar. You work for that dang old Social Security. Not to give it to anybody illegals, not to give it out to another nation. You work that money. I still get Social Security stuff. You've paid in almost $2 million. Am I going to get that $2 million? I mean, I didn't mean to yell at you, Caesar.
No, you good.
Are we going to get the money that we actually paid in? And here's a question. Say we don't get the money and we started drawing it and we die halfway, but we still got a balance. Why that cannot be towards our spouse? or our loved ones to continue getting the money from what our hard work and tears, sweat and tears done when we was alive.
Well, they're right now they're playing politics with it. You've got one side saying that the other side is trying to steal the money. But from my perspective, it looks like they're all complicit. Social Security is not an entitlement.
No.
We paid into that. We should get something back. This isn't a, well, we know you paid in, but you know we've squandered the money, so there's very little left. So here's a token.
Caesar, we got 1 minute and 26 seconds. How did 40 minutes go by that fast? Caesar, you got to come back.
You know where I am.
We got 1 minute and 18 seconds. Go ahead and wrap this up for us right quick.
Well, there's been a lot of changes. President Trump has done an incredible amount. You see nations coming over wanting to make deals over the tariff situation. This is going to directly benefit the United States, and we, as a people, need to be ready to engage that. We need to be ready to meet the demands that the world is going to put upon us once there's a level playing field in terms of worldwide trade. Why not tap into the resources that we have in terms of people, particularly those that are languishing in squalor in the inner city communities?
And I
was a part of that community.
Me too.
And I've risen up to be productive. I want to establish the means to be able to bring those like myself up who thought they had no other choice, who have been told that the only direction you're going is straight to the penitentiary. And that's a quote.
Oh, sorry, Caesar. I tried. Actually, see Miss Donna, we're going to blame Miss Donna and Sheena, okay? Because they was asking questions, and everybody, that was Cesar Gonzales. He was going to get good. See, we need a Zoom call that lasts an hour or something, because me and Cesar could, y'all get him his, you know what? Y'all stay tuned. We'll be right back. Go ahead, Dave. I'm sorry about that, Cesar. Go ahead.
The Real News Rewards app, it is the best app ever. The best way to support and keep up with everything Lucretia Hughes and save a ton of money at the same time.
Heart of Georgia, she stands tall and proud. A voice for the people, cutting through the crowd. Truth on her lips, fire in her soul. Lucretia Hughes, she's on.
Ready to unlock the most